Hey guys, Warner with Red or Black Academy, and today I want to share with you a little quote from Warren Buffett, and that is, "You're sitting in the shade because someone a long time ago planted a tree." Now that's not the probably exact quote word for word, but you get the idea. And what he's referring to is the tree, the shade, is the business or the wealth that you created. Imagine you're sitting in a hammock, you're enjoying your Mai Tai, you're enjoying watching the sunset at a beautiful hotel. Well, the reason you're sitting under that palm tree is because some time ago, 20 years ago, you started investing wisely and compound your wealth. That's what Warren Buffett's talking about. And to iterate his point, at a recent conference, or it was on a YouTube video I saw, someone from the audience asked him a question, and the question went something like this. Said, "Hey Warren," and he's sitting up there on the stage, "Well, you've espoused index funds. Why didn't you invest in these index funds over the last 10 years? They returned 10%. It was a phenomenal return." And Warren Buffett's sitting over $150 billion in cash at Berkshire Hathaway. And Warren Buffett says something very, very intelligent that if you're really paying attention, most people are going to miss, but the really smart investors and businessmen and women are going to get. He said, because there wasn't great business opportunities at the point. You're like, what? 10%'s great. Not at the bottom of a market. And this is what Warren Buffett understands. He understands there's a lot of great businesses out there that they're over leveraged, that they're overinflated in terms of their pricing, and he's waiting to the bottom of this market to grab these businesses up at cheap prices. Because he wants to plant a tree like the one supposed that Alexander stood under with his army, this massive ficus tree that just supposedly supported his whole army. He wants to plant a tree that's going to grow to that size, that can literally shade an entire army. That's what Warren Buffett's going to do. He doesn't want to plant like a mediocre tree that will do well. I mean, if you did the index funds for 10 years, but Warren Buffett knows there's deals coming. He knows how to evaluate a business, and he knows at the bottom of the market, his returns are 40%, 60%, 100%, 200%, depending on how smoked a business or an environment gets. And that's what he's waiting for. So guys, the moral of the story is understand how to evaluate a business. Understand how to find the best businesses, and then wait for them to trade at cheap prices. You look at your cash as like seeds you're planting. You want to plant them in the best soil or the best businesses. That's his point. And then when you're sitting there years later in the future, you're going to be sitting under your tree looking back going, "I'm glad I waited. I'm glad I was persistent. I'm glad I had patience. I'm glad I had discipline. Because now I can see the fruits of my labor. That tree I planted and I nurtured over the years, now it's a huge tree like the one that Alexander put his whole army under." That's what I want for you guys. If you're committed to creating $10 million in wealth, it requires understanding how to evaluate a business and invest in highly profitable businesses that cash flow. Because over the long term, those businesses will be around for a while, and they'll pay you consistently, and they'll pay you well. Thank you everyone for listening. I appreciate your support. Please like and comment to get this message out to the world. If this message could provide value for you, or if it did provide value for you, or it could provide value for someone else, I ask that you share it with them. And I look forward to connecting with each and every one of you in the future.